All right. Hello and welcome back to the Sports Brief Podcast's weekly recap of the NFL action. Joining me once again is Ben McCann. Ben, this was a wild week in NFL action.
It was completely backwards.
I felt like everything that could have went different or every team that should have beaten the other team, was wild. From the Jaguars beating the Saints to the Vikings beating the 49ers. What a wild week.
Yeah, if you were betting on these games, I feel bad for you.
And so there's a full list here of games. We always start with a Thursday night game between, and this week it was the Jaguars against the New Orleans Saints. Excuse me. Final score: the Jaguars beat the Saints 31-24. I'm not necessarily shocked by this because I felt like the Jaguars were a top 10 team. It was just a matter of how far was Derek Carr going to take the Saints. What was your thoughts on the game between the Jaguars and the Saints?
I think we got to reiterate the fact that the Jaguars need to run that offense through ETN.
Amen.
When they stopped doing that, that's when the Saints started catching up to them, and the Jaguars really were stagnant on offense. So the Jaguars defense looks kind of susceptible. So I don't can't pronounce that word. Looks like they can be got. So.
And I think, don't worry, I'll edit that a little out.
Okay, yeah.
I think the thing there is like Trevor Lawrence. I feel like we've waited so long for him to just fully take over because we see the talent, we see some of the throws, the way he rolls out in the pocket and throw across his body. Like he does have that gunslinger mentality, but I just, like you said, with the offense running through Travis Etienne like it is, I just don't see him taking over like he needs to.
But see, I would like to disagree on that because he's playing hurt and he ran the ball when he needed to run the ball still.
True.
He's not one to back down from anything, and I think we're seeing that kind of mentality in the really good quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, Travis Etienne, like we talked about, 14 carries, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, I feel like, and I put this, I'm going to put this out on a video talking about this a little bit later in the week, but I feel like the best is still yet to come for this Jaguars offense. Yes, it needs to run through Travis Etienne, but there's so many other playmakers on this offense that I feel like if they can just spread the ball around and get the balls to their playmakers. I mean, Calvin Ridley only had 1 catch for 5 yards in this game. And so I feel like the opportunities here for the Jaguars offense could be limitless, if you ask me.
See, and then with the emergence of Evan Ingram, too.
Yep.
Evan Ingram had a really good game. I think for fantasy value, I think he might be a guy that you're going to see do well in the upcoming games for sure.
Yep.
I think they're just taking away Ridley and they're letting other people beat him. And Kirk and Ingram will definitely be good ads if you can get them for cheap.
Yeah. Defensively, like you said, the Jaguars defense it can get got. Foyosad Alakun finished with 14 tackles and a pick. And I want to see more pressure on the opposing quarterbacks from this defensive line. I just feel like, yes, their secondary isn't bad. Their linebackers, I love Olakunas and Walker, but and then one of my biggest draft crushes last year was Devin Lloyd. But overall, I just feel like that needs to be more pressure because Derek Carr, even though he only went 33 of 55, I think that's the second week in a row Derek Carr has thrown over 50 passes in a game. And it just, I don't know.
And they're not good passes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think everybody's seen the video of him yelling at a receiver as he overthrows him throws it out of bounds by 20 yards.
Like he's like, keep running. It's like, no, you could also throw an accurate ball there, So yeah, Derek Carr, 33, 55, 301, a touchdown and a pick. Alvin Kamara, I'm going to ask this, and this is not me being disrespectful to Alvin Kamara in any way, but had over 150 all-purpose yards, including 12 catches for 91 yards and 17 carries for 62 yards. Do they need more offensively than just giving it to Kamara, letting him do his thing? And then, also they got Chris Olave and Michael Thomas caught a touchdown.
Well, Olave got arrested today.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He got arrested for going 30 over and reckless driving.
What is it with these receivers this year?
You got to go
Jordan
fast,
Addison
man. You got to go fast.
I'm not sure if he's going to use the same excuse Jordan Addison did with the whole dog thing, which I think ended up actually being true. But like I said, I hope everybody was okay in that situation. But geez, yeah, okay. So maybe they could potentially be without Lava. Who knows what'll kind of go on with that situation?
I'm thinking probably 3 games.
Yeah, and then just a suspension alone, and so it's like okay.
But Michael Thomas is making plays.
He is.
Did you see that touchdown in the end zone?
That was a heck of a catch.
The touchdown in the end zone.
Yeah.
No, the touchdown catch. That was a heck of a catch.
I think I don't want to say that he is back to his old form, but we saw a little bit of vintage Michael Thomas there on that and a couple of his other. I mean, what was the whole thing a couple years ago? All he does is catch screen passes, but or slant passes, excuse me. So honestly, I thought this was a game where we saw a little bit of the old Michael Thomas, but
and the old Kamara.
Yeah. Like he looked, don't get me wrong, Alvin Kamara looked really good still. Like he has still got it. I'm just saying that they need more production and more from a guy like Derek Carr to throw better catchable balls to some of these guys. I don't know. Defensively, the Saints weren't nothing to gawk at. Did not register a sack against this kind of a leaky Jaguars offensive line. And so
but Trevor Lawrence is sneaky.
He does have sneaky athleticism.
He's very much a pocket passer.
Yeah.
But he'll go.
Yeah. He can tuck it and run, which does give you a little bit of that. Keeps it interesting on
keeps
defense.
them honest.
Yeah. And then we go to the Falcons against the Bucks. The Falcons, this game, somebody's got to win eventually. And I mean, now the Falcons are in front of the NFC East or NFC South, right now. And the Bucks 3-3, Falcons 4-3 right now. Desmond Ridder. I mean, hey, he scored a rushing touchdown. Didn't turn the ball over. Put his offense and his team in a position to win there at the end. So, I mean, I don't think you can really fault him. What do you think about this game?
I actually watched this game till about halftime, and I thought it was a really good game. I thought it was exactly what it was going to be. It was going to be kind of a messy football. Baker Mayfield, that interception, not the greatest. And White for Tampa, I thought he was going to be one of those guys that could put Tampa on his back and carry him. He's just not that guy.
Yeah, I mean, like Leonard Fournette back in the day that helped him to those Super Bowl runs. It's just like there's different kinds of running backs, and I mean he's good, but it's just like you can't rely on him to elevate you in the way that you need with a quarterback like Baker Mayfield.
If you are in a PPR though, White would be a good ad because he does catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. Yep. I mean he's Baker's check down guy.
Yep.
And Baker uses a check down.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. 6 catches, 65 yards in this one for White. But overall, I'm still waiting for this offense. And I believe that if I'm not mistaken, Bijan Robinson actually went down in this game. Only had a carry for 3 yards.
He didn't go down. He got in trouble.
Okay.
Gotcha. I think like his cell phone rang or something.
Oh, okay.
And then he was vaping.
Oh, okay.
And when the coach walked over to tell him to stop vaping, he blew smoke in the coach's face.
Jeez.
So he's not.
That's not.
If I'm remembering it right.
Okay.
I think that's what I read.
Okay. Yeah. This is.
But how about Patterson? I mean, he is ageless,
dude. I was so mad about the Vikings when they tried to make him a receiver that like, hey, let's have him run 17 different routes. How about we just give the man the ball and let him do what he does, what he's doing for the Falcons right now?
Bill Belichick. I mean, I'm back on the Bill Belichick chain right now, but Bill Belichick made Patterson's career when he put him as a running back.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just kind of like, because he's one of those guys that he's just special when you get the ball in his hands. Like he can make those cuts, he can make those reads, and it just some things like that you just can't teach. And Cordarrelle Patterson has been explosive and a playmaker for a while in the NFL. And 10 carries, 56 yards. The Falcons ran the ball really well. And I think that is going to be the recipe. That's clearly going to be the recipe for success. Tyler Algier got him on my fantasy team. Please continue to give this man the football. But
how about Kyle Pitts' catch?
Finally,
did you see that catch?
I actually didn't see the catch, but
he caught it behind his back.
I'm not shocked. It's Kyle Pitts. I mean,
but like it's one hand behind his like.
Okay,
it's pretty insane. So if you guys haven't seen that catch, go look at that catch.
Okay, I'll make sure I'm gonna make a mental note of that because Kyle Pitts, he's finally getting implemented in a way, or at least they're throwing the ball enough that it's like, okay, maybe we can start to see him banking on some of this potential. I don't know, but hey, also Drake London 6 catches, 54 yards. He looked pretty good as that number 1 receiver for the Falcons. Tyler Algier had over 100 all-purpose yards, caught 3 passes for 53 yards. Defensively, Richie Grant, the former standout a couple of years ago that I wanted the Vikings to get, but he had a pick. Calais Campbell, you want to talk about ageless. Calais Campbell getting another sack. David Onyemata, the former Saint, coming over and getting a sack. Lorenzo Carter also registered a sack. So, I mean, Baker was under pressure. You talked about Baker Mayfield checking it down and everything. Finished 27-42. 275 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
I like Baker Mayfield, but if he's got to throw the ball over 40 times, you're not winning that game.
Amen. And I think Mike Evans was the lone catch or was a lone touchdown there for the Bucks. And this offense has glimpses of being very good, But then on the other hand, it's like it does rely a lot on its defense because you got guys like, Jamal Dean, Levante David, who had, 13 tackles. Ryan Neal had 10. Shaq Barrett had a sack and 7 tackles. Like, you rely so much on this defense that it's like, man, like, this defense is good, and that with a serviceable quarterback like Baker Mayfield, they can win some games, but it's like, after which point is that, how far are they actually going to take them? So, so we got, the Falcons took it to the Bucks, getting that field goal. My Raiders.
They're so bad.
How do you lose to the worst football team, or like who was arguably the worst football team? And now this is 2 weeks in a row.
Hoyer.
Yeah.
Get the guy a win, man. 13, what is it, 13, 16 in a row?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't
understand. And he played for the Patriots in the Patriots' good years?
Yes.
And he can't get a win?
He can't get a single win. And I don't understand. I was...
35 yards, Josh Jacobs? What are you doing?
I feel like why could you not... Like, my first gripe was, why would you start...
Did Dick Butkus decide he was going to just... Yeah.
I was like,
did the 85 Bears show up for defense? What is going 12 points?
It's the second week in a row that this Bears defense has looked scary. Like the first week was against the Vikings, and I know the Vikings didn't have Jefferson. Yeah, and then this week they come out and take it to the Raiders, my Raiders. So and Jacobs, like you said, 35 rushing yards. Brian Hoyer. My biggest gripe was the fact they didn't start Aiden O'Connell, because Aiden O'Connell, yes, he's a rookie, but there is much more excitement. There's a lot more to work with, and we don't really know what we have in Aiden O'Connell as opposed to Brian Hoyer. We know what we're getting in Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, this is what you're getting with Brian Hoyer. Devontae Adams had 7 receptions, and he had 57 yards. Awful. And Devontae Adams with 7 receptions.
I'm at a loss. I watched the highlights 3 times, and I could see Devontae Adams running 5 yards in, slant routes and corner routes, and I'm just like, why is Devontae Adams not getting the ball in certain situations? And then finally, Aiden O'Connell, I got roasted the other day because I put out a video saying that, burn it all to the ground. And I got the score wrong in my first start of the podcast. I said 30-6. All of you in the comment section about there saying there's 30-12. I don't care about a garbage time touchdown. Okay. Don't care about it. So, Aiden O'Connell overall, 10 of 13, 75 yards. Start the rookie. The rest of the year, I don't care. Like this, just Jimmy Garoppolo. It doesn't matter to me. You are in a position where it is a crime that McDaniels showed up and got into the building on Monday to be able to watch film or whatever. This man should be gone. Like he offensively, he's done nothing for this team. They were a playoff team 2 years ago, and it's just been a train wreck ever since he walked in the door. So,
he's not I mean, I don't understand it. Great offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Won multiple Super Bowls with Tom Brady and the Patriots.
But he didn't do well in Denver.
Nope.
He's not a head coach.
He's not.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And that, like, you can go, like, if you're telling me that this man, his peak is going out and winning a Super Bowl with the Patriots as an offensive coordinator, winning multiple, how do you walk away from that? Just stay there and win Super Bowls for the rest of your career, Like,
why do you think he was going to be the successor of Bill Belichick? Why do you think the Patriots were like, oh, you want to go?
You can go.
Yeah, you can go.
They did. It was
like,
just...
Gerard, I'm excited for Gerard Mayo, but I'm not going to get onto that right now. But he is not a head coach.
He's not, and it showed because
it's too much for him.
Yeah, because it's controlling everything, and he just this team does not show up motivated. They do not show up ready to play, and it really showed against the Bears. And so, like we said, but Jacoby Myers caught 7 passes for 50 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown from Aiden O'Connell in garbage time. Defensively, I mean, Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson, he got his first career sack, but you allow 30 points to Tyson Bagent and the Bears. 21 of 29 was Bagent, 162 yards and a touchdown.
Foreman, man.
Great day for Foreman. Yep. I think he had, over 111 all-purpose yards.
Raiders did take away DJ Moore, though.
Yeah, DJ. 8 catches, 54 yards. But, Foreman had himself a day. You could have won your fantasy football league just off of getting Foreman because 3 touchdowns, over 100 all-purpose yards. It was ugly. They couldn't stop the run in key situations. Also,
they couldn't stop anything.
And Darrington Evans, 14 carries, 48 yards. If I'm a coach, I'm throwing my clipboard at somebody. I can't believe this. And so, but that's the second week in a row, like we touched on, Ben, that this defense for the Bears looks legit. And Tyson Bagent didn't look bad.
He did just enough.
But
even 21 for 29, he read it. He checked down the ball. He checked the ball, and he was safe with it.
He was
efficient. And that's all you can ask for.
Yep. especially from a guy that's, I mean, a former D2 quarterback coming in, starting in his first game. Just be efficient, don't turn the ball over, and let your defense take care of the rest. And they did.
Honest question.
Yep.
This kid goes in, wins 3 or 4 more games. Is Fields done?
I think you have to, because you have to go with what's hot. If you look at what happened to the Vikings back in 2017, after Case Keenum won all those games, Sam Bradford was gone. Like we'd never really heard from Sam Bradford again. So if Tyson Bagent goes in there and he's the second coming of Jim McMahon, I don't think that's a problem. I think that's.
Or do you try to move? I mean, do you try to do something with Fields? I mean, he's athletically, he's good.
He is very good.
So I mean, do you do something with him? Do you make that switch?
I think maybe maybe as a running back,
a slot.
Slot running back, something. I mean, because he does add another element to this offense because he's so shifty, so athletic that it would be hard to just say, hey, he's done forever, and then we'll just roll with Bagent. But I don't think you can just ignore what Bagent did in his debut, even against the Vikings. Yes, he threw the pick, but overall he brought them from floundering to almost winning the game against the Vikings. And then he just won a game against the Raiders. So you have to ask yourself at some point, is it time to put the kid in, give him his opportunity? Because, I mean, who knows? Could he be your long-term answer at quarterback? It's possible.
Tom Brady wasn't going to be the long-term.
Yeah, and then he came in and we saw the NFL, the Hall of Famer career that he had. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with them keeping him in if this defense plays like this and he, takes care of the football. Now, is he a world beater? I didn't exactly see a lot to say that, but in your first start, you don't turn the ball over, you throw a touchdown pass, and you win by almost 20 points. Yeah, you take that. You absolutely take that.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like you said, DJ Moore was pretty quiet. 8 catches, 54 yards. Jaquan Brisker had 10 tackles. Tremont Edmonds had 8 tackles and an interception. Jalen Johnson, though, had himself a game. Had a pick 6. Also had another interception after that, so 2 picks on the day for him. Justin Jones had a sack. This defense for the Bears looks like it could be legit. But
let's play a good team.
Yeah.
Let's play a good team.
Yeah, I think. Holding Josh Jacobs, the NFL's leading rusher last year, to 30 yards is pretty good.
A lot of those guys. Josh Jacobs has not looked like Josh Jacobs from last year. All year.
I think it is Josh McDaniels in the fact that you're running the same outside zone left, outside zone right, and it's not really getting him a toss sweep where he is most effective because he reads and he cuts. He's very good in that regard. Colts Browns here. I mean the Browns. This game. I was just like, I
took the Colts. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I took the Colts. I thought Minshew had some magic left.
Minshew didn't play horribly. 14 of 23, 305, 2 touchdowns and a pick. But I mean, we need to talk about the Browns here finding a way to get away with PJ Walker and Deshaun Watson. You are the epitome of my fantasy team. Negative 0.8 points, and the reason I lost. He's not the reason I lost. I take that back. But he's a major reason I lost because I could have started Trevor Lawrence or somebody, and I'm just and Jerome Ford, your guy, coming out and doing a good game.
He's done though. He's out this week. It sounds like.
Really?
He's listed as doubtful. I don't think if you have him, I would definitely go get somebody else. If Hunt's available, he's going to have the majority of the carries. Mm-hmm. Pierre Strong,
former SDSU guy.
Yes, South Dakota kid. Also going to probably get a bulk of those. So, I would definitely plan on Ford not playing.
Yeah. And so, like you mentioned, Kareem Hunt did really well. 10 carries, 31 yards, and 2 teddies. Offensive.
I hate that.
What?
I hate that they got Kareem Hunt.
I know. It's unfair.
Those 2 touchdowns should be Ford's.
I know.
The guy should have 3 touchdowns.
Did you win this week?
Oh, yeah. I won by 30.
Okay. So then why are you complaining? You won.
Because this week is my buddy from Washington.
Okay.
And I absolutely wanted to destroy him. Because when we drafted, he's like, oh, your team looks horrible. Your team's a bunch of dog.
Yeah, then it's perfect.
I was like, no.
This is personal. Okay. Myles Garrett doing crossovers and everything and still getting sacked. He is scary. He's a scary human being.
Just give him the Defensive Player of the Year award right now.
Not even close.
There's no question. And I think maybe he might not hurt anybody if you just give it to him.
Dude, when he's doing crossovers like that and just messing around and then he goes out and gets a sack, I'm just like, guys, name me a defensive player right now that has a bigger impact for their team than Myles Garrett. I'll wait. Nobody.
Maybe TJ Watt.
But I mean, right now.
Maybe.
But the thing is the Browns are in contention because of this defense and Myles Garrett and the impact that he brings. Because you have quarterback situation in flux right now. and it's kind of like a last stand for Kevin Stefanski and all these guys, and really the Browns because of all the trades they've made, and so he's keeping their hopes alive just on the shoulders of Myles Garrett right now. So and Zadarius Smith also had a sack, which is good to see, the former Viking and Packer, and also Raven. Denzel Ward had a pick. Jordan Elliott brought in a sack as well. So I mean this Browns team, they can beat you defensively. They can bring a lot of different pressure, and they can run the football. That's really the main thing there. So we'll see how things go with Deshaun Watson, all that, but PJ Walker, I mean, he gets it done. That's all I can say. Gardner Minshew, like we mentioned,
not horrible.
Not horrible.
2 touchdowns in a pick.
Yep.
305.
Yep. And then Jonathan Taylor, thank God they finally got this man a touchdown, because I knew I was going to lose this week, Ben, but I was like, can I just get something for Jonathan Taylor? Because that was my first pick, was auto drafted because I wasn't paying attention, and it got me Jonathan Taylor. So hey, he got his first touchdown, but Gardner Minshew had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Also, give him to Taylor.
Yeah,
stop quarterback, stop running the ball.
Yes, no more tush push.
Yeah, if you guys are going to score, throw the touchdown.
Yes. Please. Or like, Josh Downs, the rookie. I've been pounding on the table for Josh Downs ever since he came out of North Carolina. He had himself a big time day, 5 catches, $125, and a touchdown. I think between him and Michael Pittman, who had 2 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown, you've got that balance. So Michael Pittman's that big outside receiver that can stretch the field long, but also, create separation. But then Josh Downs, he's just a mismatch in the slot there and just on the other side.
Yeah, you can't cover him.
Yeah, it's absolutely tough. But I feel like the Colts, I mean, they are a good team. But it's the fact that Richardson went down and Minshew steps in. It's rough because this defense is actually pretty talented.
Let's be honest. Anytime you give up 39 points, you're probably not going to win the game.
Yeah.
It's cool that it's 38-39, but you're not. Yeah. I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah, not a good day for the defense overall. I think that you had Rodney Thomas, who had an interception. You had Kenny Moore had a sack and a half. Julian Blackmon also added a pick. So, I mean, and Zaire Franklin was all over the place, 11 total tackles. And so, yeah, I think this is one of those games that it was a shootout. It was kind of fun to watch, but overall, yeah, I still do have our question marks about both the Browns and the Colts. And so now the Giants. What is this team? And so Sling and Sam Howell went from awesome to 22 of 42 for 249 and an interception. It wasn't a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but what were your thoughts?
Exactly what you just said.
Not pretty.
No.
Not pretty.
I took the Commanders on this one too. Like, I think everybody I took this week lost.
Really?
Yeah, except for the Patriots. And
okay.
But
Sam, you had the Patriots beating the Bills? Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a homer.
Okay, I get it. So, I get it. I respect that because not a lot of people are. But I mean, yeah, I thought this was a pretty good game, but go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Sam Howell isn't, that's just a bad line.
Yeah.
And they didn't play well. You got Scary Terry. He didn't cover. He didn't go over 100 on the Giants team. But realistically, the Giants defense has shown glimpses of being good.
Yep.
I mean, they shut down the Bills for a while. They've played well. Mm-hmm. They've never put it all together.
Yep. And I mean, they had multiple sacks in this game. I mean, Dexter Lawrence had a couple. Jason Pinnock also had a sack. I believe he was the former Pitt standout. Kayvon Thibodeau, a sack and a half. Micah McFadden also in on that sack for him. So it's just like defensively, yeah, they can get pressure on the quarterback and they can cover people. But like this stagnant Washington Commanders offense it was rough to watch.
What are you doing with Brian Robinson? Give him the ball.
I mean, 8 carries. Chris Rodriguez had almost more carries than that man. And Brian Robinson Jr. is a stud. And so, I mean,
he had 2.9 per carry, but I think they're running him through the tackles and it's just not working. Get him to the outside.
Passes,
something. You got to get this guy involved in your offense. And it just seems like it's one guy. If one guy has a big game, then the Washington Commanders will do well.
Yep.
But when you have a team like this, you can't just rely on one guy. This team's got to put it together. Otherwise, they're just going to be horrible all year.
Well, and I think one of the lone bright spots of this game was Chase Young. I mean, a couple of sacks there. I feel like could he be a guy that teams try to go out and get? Like I feel like he might be.
I think so, but I don't think the Commanders are smart enough to sell.
Yeah,
I think they're 3-4. This is probably the best thing to happen to them is lose this game because maybe in the back of their heads they'll be like, maybe we should get rid of. Maybe we should overhaul this.
Yeah,
but Oh man, I just don't know.
I don't think Ron Rivera can take this team to the
I am
playoffs.
sorry, Commanders fans. That's all I can say.
Yes. And also, I mean, the Giants here, I mean, Giants fans, Ty God out there, just, I mean, 18 of 29, 279, 2 touchdowns. You paid $40 million to the wrong quarterback. No, I'm just kidding. You're not going to pay Ty God that much. But, I mean.
You could have spent $40 million a lot smarter, though.
Yeah. I mean, I understand.
I think the Giants need to listen to the Money podcast.
Yes, they did. I know, right?
That was a horrible investment.
I get why they made it because, like, oh, if we can get him weapons, if we can do all this, maybe he could be something. But it's like,
what weapons?
Yeah, it's like they got him Darren Waller, who had himself a good game, 7 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah,
I've been on his. I've really liked him since draft. I thought he was going to do really well, and I'm glad to just start seeing it.
Oh yeah, and I mean coming out of Tennessee, he was a guy that he was a field stretching guy. He was that like this different element of a reliable receiver that they've needed for a while. So yes, I was very excited to see him continue to do well. I mean Saquon, he's Saquon. He's going to do his thing. He's going to come in and get his 100 yards and a touchdown. It's just I feel bad for the guy. Like just I don't know, give this guy some more help, please. Like just. I mean, they got a win overall, but I mean, we'll see what happens when they play a little bit of a better team. But like we said, the defense looked good. Only allowed 7 points in this one, but I mean, if Tyrod keeps playing like this, things could get interesting pretty fast there in New York. So, and so then after the Commanders and Giants, dude,
I told you.
You did.
What did I tell you?
Because I got a text from Ben, like I think it was like 10 o'clock or something like that on Saturday, and on Sunday, right before we covered the game, and he's like, dude, look at the Ravens right now. And I wasn't even paying attention. And then I look and the Lions got smacked around.
I don't think they're a dark horse at this point.
I feel like exactly
out of the AFC, if Lamar Jackson plays like this, they should be the favorite out of the AFC.
Well, and because their defense is like, if you stack up defenses along this, I mean, you hold the Lions offense to only 6 points. Like it's a good defense, but also Lamar played like an MVP candidate. Jared Goff, I mean, people forget that he brought the Rams to a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but that one was everything was perfect. This defense for the Lions got shredded. I know Amon St. Brown had 13 catches, 102 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs got his first touchdown as a Lion. That was great to see, but I mean, just not a good day. You didn't register a sack on Lamar Jackson all day. And I mean, Lamar Jackson, 21 of 27, 357, 3 touchdowns through the air, also had 9 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown. I didn't start Gus Edwards, and I want to punch something because I started Tyler Algier instead. So
that was dumb.
I don't know why I thought it would work, but
I mean, the Lions came in with the defense looks scary.
Yep.
Now, I mean, you got Nelson Aguilar scoring touchdowns on you.
I know.
You're not scary anymore.
Oh, wow.
What are you doing?
This hurts. This one hurt. And so, but I mean, Gus Edwards.
I didn't even know Nelson Aguilar was still in the league.
I know, right? It's like, how? Okay, all right. But Mark Andrews also had a couple of touchdowns. He's just continues to be a stud at tight end. And Zay Flowers also had himself another good day, 4 catches, 75 yards. It's just not a good day for the Lions. And there's times where you're going to have games like this as a team. And I think even Dan Campbell was talking about it after the game that just, it's going to help him refocus, get back on the train. But hey, it did get the Vikings back up into a little bit of contention. We'll get into that Monday night game a little bit later. But okay, I'll keep it silent for now.
Perfect storm.
I know, right? Like, okay, all right. I'll keep it quiet because I know I'm a homer too. So hey, now we got to talk about your boys taking care of business. Was
there any doubt?
I mean,
yeah,
a little bit. A little bit. But no, hey, they got it done.
Mac Jones looked like the quarterback we drafted.
Yep.
For once. And I don't know what was talked about, what was said, but everybody that wanted Bill Belichick gone, well, sorry, he secretly signed an extension.
Yes. Like, well, he's here to stay.
That's such a Bill Belichick move, too. Yeah. But no, Mac Jones looked good. Game-winning drive. He can't argue with it.
Nope.
Stevenson still looks like not Stevenson.
I don't know what it is. Like literally these last couple of years, he's been that bell cow guy that you can just give it to and throw to, and he can do his thing. But fantasy-wise, if you had Ramondre Stevenson, it's just, I mean, he still had 85 all-purpose yards, but it's just like he's not the dangerous guy that we've seen. Also, Zeke had another touchdown.
And that's another thing, fantasy-wise, I would assume Elliott is going to get the goal line carries from this point going forward.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, Ramondre Stevenson is that guy that between the 20s, he's going to get, that. But I mean, Zeke Elliott, when he got that touchdown called back a couple weeks ago, I felt bad because, I mean, that man was so excited. And then you do that to him. It's just, But the Bills, we got to talk about the Bills. So now the Bills with this loss, they're 4-3.
They are not a good team. I've been saying that.
Yeah. And after this game, it makes you scratch your head a little bit because they go like it's not like they don't have talent and they don't have weapons, but then they lose to the Patriots, who are coming off a couple game skid, and now that gives the Patriots some hope.
We got Miami. I think we got Miami next week. So if those are 2 division games, you win that one, and then you go down to Miami and you win Miami.
Yep.
That's everything kind of changes a little bit.
We get some flip flops of some teams, and now like the Bills. I mean, they might. I don't think they're necessarily in trouble because I mean,
can we actually say what Josh Allen is?
You think he's a fraud?
I think he is. Yeah, I do. I think he had one good game with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And it was exciting, and everybody was like, "Oh, Josh Allen, Josh Allen."
Yeah.
But let's be honest, he runs aggressively. What's he got? Another year left to that?
Yeah, it doesn't.
He can't throw the ball. He's not accurate.
Hey, I mean, just arm strength for days, but no pinpoint of any kind. Like you cannot put it on anybody.
And I think Diggs wants out.
That's the way he's at. Like, I mean, of course, that's the way. I mean, as a Vikings fan, I can tell you, yeah, man. If you're a Bills fan and dealing with Stephon Diggs, I'm sorry. I sympathize with you. Yeah. I mean, 6 catches, 58 yards for Diggs and a Teddy. James Cook pretty good. Like we've seen a lot worse things. And I felt like Dalton Kincaid, the rookie. I mean, he's kind of justifying. What was that? A first round pick there? 8 catches, 75 yards. But I mean, Dawson Knox only caught one pass too. So, but defensively, I mean, Poyer registered the only sack for a defense that, I mean, we expected more out of this. Now, do I think that in some
Patriots offensive line is healthy?
Yeah, finally, and it's like, okay, they can block people when they're healthy. Like
I'll tell that to Stevenson.
Yeah, he might be a little
pass
frustrated.
Block. Let's be honest, they can pass block.
He might be a little frustrated right now. But I think we've seen that in the NFL, like the first couple of games before the offensive linemen get their feet under them and then start running and things and getting stuff done. I think he's going to start hitting his stride here pretty quick. So I'm not all in and out on it by any means. But yeah, you got to be. I feel like as a Patriots fan, this game gives you a little bit of hope.
A little bit. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? A little bit of hope.
I thought you said the Ravens were definitely going to be in the AFC, but yeah. But no, Mac Jones, 25 of 30, 272 and 2 touchdowns. That, like you said, quarterback you've wanted for a long time and that you drafted. Yes. Also, Mike Gesicki caught that. What was it? The go-ahead game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
And yeah.
But I think Gesicki I'm glad they're starting to use Gesicki, but I think this offense really needs to incorporate Douglas if they want to be successful.
Yep.
It adds a whole nother dynamic, and that's going back to McDaniels. That was what McDaniels was good at, was taking those special players like Patterson and stuff like that and giving them a way to succeed in an offense.
Rejuvenating their career.
Yes. And they're finally doing it.
Yes.
Pop Douglas he's playing and he's playing well.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne, I like him, but he's not your guy.
Yeah, he's not a number one.
No, he fumbles.
I feel like some people were saying that if the Patriots traded for Justin Jefferson, first of all, I would lose my mind. I would be burning every jersey I had or pretty close to it. But also it's like, I mean, the Patriots have shown, like, do they really truly need a number one? Because you guys get talent out of so many other players. Like, you bring the best out in so many other players.
I think you have to have a number one at this point. Just because, and I shouldn't say you have to, because the Ravens just showed that you don't. But I think that if you give Mac Jones or Lamar Jackson a true number one, Lamar Jackson, that I'd give him the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah.
Mac Jones, you're probably looking deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, until you see that Ravens team, and then then you'd be like it used to be.
Yeah.
And those close, fun games. But yeah, you got to have a number one in this league.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Plus, hey, you got J.C. Jackson back. I felt like he played pretty admirably.
J.C. Jackson's been back. We got Jack Jones.
Or Jack Jones, yeah. Sorry, back from the Chargers. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
But I mean, he did allow a touchdown, but overall, this defense is, I feel like it's better. Yeah, to Diggs.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
If we only give one a touchdown up to Diggs, I'll be okay.
Pretty good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a lot worse. Well, we've seen a lot worse. So,
But Farrell Brown too. He's come out of nowhere and he's creating separation that the other receivers aren't. So I think that's going to be a huge deal. Unfortunately, I really like Hunter Henry. He's one of my favorites.
Yep.
But the emergence of Farrell Brown, Hunter Henry's going to probably end up.
Yeah, it's sorry, buddy.
That one.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been in the league for a while now, hasn't he? He's done some really good things for. I mean,
he was a Charger for a long time.
I feel
Farrell
like
Brown or Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he was a Charger for
a long time. Yeah, but I mean, hey, he's still with a good team right now, and maybe some things can happen. But yeah, Brown looks.
And can we get rid of Devontae Parker?
You want
Please?
him gone?
Yes. He doesn't do anything.
It's just like
what?
Give the snaps to Demario Douglas or Davis, excuse me, and just let him do his thing. Like
Douglas.
Yeah, Douglas. Sorry. Yeah. Just give the snaps to Douglas, let him do his thing because he's more of a field stretcher, big play kind of a guy. And Devontae Parker at this point in his career, it's just like, it's so vanilla at this point. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't even do vanilla.
You wouldn't even.
God, he's horrible.
Too much disrespect to vanilla.
I'm just not a fan.
Gotcha. So yeah, the Patriots pick up a big time win over there, and then we go to the NFC West where the Seahawks took down the Cardinals. I mean, we weren't shocked, but overall,
I did get that one right.
You got that one right. Okay, you got the Seahawks 20-10 was the final score there. I like me some of the things that the Arizona Cardinals can do, but overall, this Seahawks team, I feel like you got it done in a spot you needed to. That like the Cardinals are a little bit more plucky than you think. And they can get some things done, but it's just, I don't know. I felt like
I feel like the Arizona Cardinals are doing exactly what the ownership of the Arizona Cardinals wants them to do.
Yeah, and this is such a deep quarterback draft class that Caleb Williams. He might not even be the number one guy next year with the way he's playing.
What he's saying?
Yeah, saying and playing. Like, dude, you zip it.
If you're going to draft me, I want part ownership of the team. Are you kidding me? Dude, give him part ownership of the Cardinals. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I bet you his agent now is like, dude, I'm trying to get you drafted. Chill out. Like,
shut up.
Oh man. Geno Smith didn't have a bad game. Kenneth Walker was back. 26 carries, $105. Geno Smith, 18 of 24, 219 yards,
the
2
rookie.
touchdowns, and a pick. Jackson Smith and Jigba finally. And he was wide open too. If you watch the play, I was just kind of like, you better catch that. And you better get that. But overall, Jake Bobo has also been a really, really good find.
That catch.
He's been fantastic.
Did you see that footwork?
I again didn't see that one, but I know that Jake Bobo. Ever since the preseason, I was been barking for them to get him on the field more because we're seeing Tyler Lockett who is doing his thing, but like. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that DK Metcalf was out for this game. I think I could be mistaken. But
God, I would hope so by the stat line.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I didn't see him when I was watching the game.
But you've got receiving cores, you got receivers like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jake Bobo, Tyler Lockett. You've got 3 really good players there, plus DK Metcalf. This offense could be special. I do full-heartedly believe that.
Not with Geno.
You don't think it could take him over the top?
I'm sorry, Geno. Yeah, no, he can't. I don't know. It's a feel good story.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like
the offense got better, but it's playing worse. It
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. They went out and got a really good rookie receiver.
Yep.
And you're still only beating the Cardinals by 10.
True.
And realistically, it wasn't like a dominant performance by Seattle.
I think defensively, I'm very encouraged by this defense because a year ago, this defense was the Achilles heel of this team, and now it's playing 2 weeks in a row now. This defense is playing a lot better. You got sacks from Jerron Reed, Darrell Taylor, as well as Boy Mafe, the former Gopher, Jordan Brooks. 9 tackles and half a sack. Bobby Wagner, that dude is still playing. He's an animal.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are looking. They got to win. I think that for how things are lining up, they're probably going to make the playoffs. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Rams moving forward. But then you got to talk about the Steelers. Speaking of the Rams and Steelers, you got a guy like Kenny Pickett who, I don't know.
He's winning games.
He's winning games.
That's all you can say.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Good for you, dude. 4-2, getting it done.
He's got the Burger King hands.
Yes, those small hands, but he gets it done, right? Like you said, you gotta win. Najee Harris, 14 carries, 53 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Warren, 6 carries, 32 yards and a touchdown. I want to say the stat line by Kenny Pickett real quick. 17 of 25 for 230. Okay, respectable.
Not bad.
Kenny Pickett running the ball, 8 carries, 0 yards and a touchdown. Like I love those stat lines by those quarterbacks. Those not necessarily the most athletic quarterbacks, but the guys that still come in and find a way to punch in that touchdown. It makes me laugh every single time. But I mean, you get
not if you're not Harris guy.
You're kind of a little angry about that one. Yes. I get it. George Pickens and I got Deontay Johnson back.
I told you
he did pretty good. Yeah, he definitely did me pretty good. George Pickens also had a good game. This defense, like you said, yes. Nick Herbig got a sack. Larry Ogunjobi, the former Bengal, that I mean, let's face it, I'm glad he's doing well. Then also T.J. Watt had a pick. I mean, yes, he's an animal.
If anybody was going to give
Myles Garrett a run for his money,
it would be T.J. Watt. I think those two are on a whole different level.
We also have to mention, my friend, what happened with Puka Nacua. Now, last week we were talking, and you said that once with Cooper Kupp back, it looked like Puka Nacua was going to be kind of out. The man went off for 8 catches, 154 yards. So I think the Rams have themselves the perfect number 1 and number 1A type of receivers that they've needed for a while.
Oh yeah, it worked out really well this game.
Yeah, I felt like this game next week is going to be a different story. Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, what they did is if you watch did you watch the game?
A little bit.
So your safety help went over the top on Cooper Kupp's side, so they could take that slot, basically that slant away from him.
Yeah,
and that's what opened up Puka Nacua. Because if you notice, how many touchdowns did he have?
No, not a single one.
So they were willing to bend it. They just didn't break. Yeah, so they were willing to give up the bigger play, but then they shut it down in the red zone because once that safety help was there, that safety help could help both sides once that field wasn't as big, and you had that end zone to kind of be another defender.
Yep. And also, Tutu Atwell, I think that's the second week in a row he scored a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. And so you've got, I mean, this defense, I just don't know. I just don't know what to consider the Rams right now. It's just Michael Holt also had a couple
I think they're beating expectations.
True. Yeah. I mean, it could be. We've seen a lot worse, especially with teams that are injury riddled, or at least just are meeting it. But
and Steelers aren't a bad team.
They're not. They are not. And then you also have the Chiefs and the Chargers. This game, I mean, I'm trying to defend Justin Herbert. I stood on the table for him last week.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Herbert fans.
There's going to be crickets just today because it's not like this man just goes up. Like if you're going to, I think my dad would always say it, if you're going to run with the big dogs, you can't pee like a pup. You got to be able to rise to the occasion. And Justin Herbert in a division with Patrick Mahomes, and I just
2-4.
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
With Joshua Kelly.
Yep.
Is the
Josh
Eckler.
Palmer. Yep, Eckler.
When he's healthy, on and off with that.
Yep.
And he's got good receivers.
Yep. I mean, Josh Palmer is really coming on strong.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Throw Mac Jones on this team. I bet they're a 500 team.
Really?
100%.
Mac Jones over Justin Herbert?
I didn't say that. I said throw Mac Jones on this team.
Oh,
and I bet they're a 500 team.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is creeping. It is. I mean, Mac Jones had one good game. I know that's what I'm going to hear. But realistically, Mac Jones takes care of the ball.
It was against a good team, though.
Yep.
Like, I know the Bills are at least a good team. They're not, I don't know about Super Bowl contenders right now. There's a lot of flux.
I don't think
but they're a good team, And so I'm loving me some Josh Palmer. I called it when this man was coming out. I was like, okay, people don't know this kid, and I know he's going to be behind guys like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I understand all of that, but he has developed into a very nice security blanket for Justin Herbert.
And what are you doing? Austin Eckler, 1 reception, 1 yard. Am I missing? Did he get hurt?
I don't remember, but
did he get hurt after the first play? Because if not, they need to throw him the ball more.
He had 14 carries, 45 yards. So he was, I mean, that's what his bread and butter is he's one of the best receiving backs in the NFL. So it just looks like they
run to that Chris Jones side as Chris Jones collapses.
Yes.
Then protect Herbert that way. Because then Chris Jones can't collapse on you.
Yeah. And it's like, and plus, defensively, I know it's tough going against a guy like Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, Asante Samuel Jr., his dad was pretty good in the NFL too, by the way. He had a pick, but I mean, there was really no pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Like you saw, like there was times Kenneth Murray had a sack like we talked about, but just like it was Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. 32 of 42, 424, 4 touchdowns and a pick.
Can we talk about how creepy Jackson Mahomes is?
Dude, I felt concern for Taylor Swift with him behind her the entire
I feel so bad for her.
Yeah. I'm just like, dude, like she doesn't deserve this.
No, but she's putting on such a nice face.
She is, and she's been a great sport about it. I'm going to start listening to some more T Swift songs.
I am too.
Yes.
I appreciate that. But
yes,
and if you have Travis Kelce on your fantasy team,
You
you appreciate
happy.
it too. You know, because I mean, I think he's averaging like 103 yards when she shows up in like 60 when she's not
dude.
there.
If they're in a fight and she doesn't show up,
God.
like, oh God, please.
Like, how is Travis Kelce not being like, Mom, go get rid of.
Yeah.
Go
Get
stay
Jackson,
over there.
yeah,
Get Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes away from her.
I don't know how. I don't know. She's been a great sport about it. I just don't know how with everything going on there. He's just and even in interviews.
Why is he even in the building?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially with some of the allegations going on right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand that again. He is Patrick Mahomes, and he is. I mean,
Yeah, but who's his publicist, man?
they need. I mean, the PR needs help. That's all I'm gonna say because this is a night. Like if Patrick Mahomes didn't have this, he would be the golden child of the NFL.
Oh, absolutely.
And
but you can't.
It just
No.
it doesn't work.
But I can say the Eagles are appreciative of it
yes,
because they are definitely benefiting.
Yes. Well, and in the rest of this game, I mean, MVS had a pretty good game. Rashid Rice, the rookie, again stepping up. Between him and Jordan Addison, I think there's a couple of different players there that can catch touchdowns and do some different things and be good receiving options. Like I think Rashid Rice might be running for like the best wide receiver, like rookie wide receiver to come out of this draft, other than Jordan Addison, who we'll get into in a second here. But Isaiah Pacheco, what'd you call him the other day? Pachero?
Pacheco. I like Pacheco.
Pacheco did a good.
He put up enough numbers to be solid in the fantasy look.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the rushing, unless they're catching the ball,
they got to get the running game going somehow. Yeah. I don't know. And then Mike Dana and Willie Gay Jr. also both registered sacks. Brian Cook, the former safety standout, and also is an absolute stud. Justin Reed, the kicker and the safety, had himself a pretty good game. Drew Tranquil, Charles Aminu, and George Karlaftis all registered sacks. So I mean that Chargers offensive line didn't do Herbert any favors, but it's just. I don't know. It was rough.
I want to hear it.
No, yeah.
How good is he?
I'm in a spot where you're going to hear crickets from me this week because I'll go ahead and take this one and I'll come back to you next. If he has a good game next week, I might be a little chirpy, but for now, it's crickets.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna really upset some Chiefs fans.
You're going for blood today.
Oh yeah. Travis Kelce is your best player.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, over Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Travis Kelce is your MVP. He is your most valuable player.
But who's throwing him the ball, though?
I'm looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
12 receptions, 179 yards, and a touchdown. The next one is Scantling with 3 catches, 84 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Rice, 5 catches, 60 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce is a dude.
That guy.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's definitely a top 5 tight end of all time.
And this is what's going to get him in trouble is the Ravens can take away Travis Kelce.
Yes, they can with their
and
defense.
Patrick Mahomes, when Travis Kelce is taken away, you saw the same thing when Tyreek Hill was there.
Yep.
When Tyreek Hill was taken away, Mahomes struggled until he figured out he could go to Kelce.
Yeah.
And then once he went to Kelce, you take Kelce away, I think that's gonna be the secret sauce to beat the Chiefs. And I think that the Ravens are able to do it.
Mm-hmm. I think, man, this is just
the Bills are not. The Bills are not. But the Ravens can beat the Chiefs.
I think that the Ravens can, yes. The Bills, I don't know at this point. It's anybody's game. It is what it is at this point. But I mean, Travis Kelce is a Hall of Fame tight end. Boom. He's a Hall of Fame tight end. Like I said, top 5 all time, I would say.
Yeah. Top 6.
Yeah. Probably another discussion for another day. But overall, I think he's a Hall of Famer, a couple of Super Bowl rings. And I mean, I love his show, too, New Heights. So
it's so great.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
And
only because of Jason Kelce.
Yeah, the Jason Kelce's the man.
Yes.
I would love to sit down and have a beer with Jason Kelce. And then that might not be too far fetched because I do think that you don't have another alpha receiver on that team other than Kelce. So
I think Kelce is your only alpha.
Yeah, that's what
Patrick Mahomes. If you're allowing your brother and your wife to do the things, and this is what's going to get. I'm sorry, but if you're allowing them to do that and make you look bad when you could potentially be the golden child of the NFL, you're not an alpha. You tell them to sit down, shut up, and watch the game. Or you tell them, hey, there's a sports bar down the road. Why don't you watch it there?
Mm-hmm.
But the way they're acting and the stuff that's going on, Patrick Mahomes is not an alpha.
Mm-hmm. I think I think you have to be able to. I mean, you are the reason that your family's in the spotlight in any capacity. The only reason. And I think it's tough. I know family's always tough for everybody, especially when you love seeing your great aunt Sherry during Thanksgiving every year. But overall, it's one of those situations where if you're his family and you love this man, you have to step away. You have to, if you truly love this man and want to support him.
Oh, he doesn't.
Yeah,
you can already tell. I mean, it's just like the little handshake stuff. Like as I was coming in today, I was kind of watching some of the TikToks, and he's over there trying to get into handshakes with like Brittany Mahomes. I will be honest, she's been on her best behavior.
Yeah, she's been
something happened.
Yeah,
Jackson Mahomes, put him down, sit him in the house, lock him in a closet, and let him watch the game in there.
Yeah,
he has no business being at Arrowhead. No. He has no business being in a box with Taylor Swift.
Amen.
You know what would happen to you if Jackson Mahomes would do anything to Taylor Swift? You know how many angry Swifties?
They would be worse than anything.
Oh
any
my
kind
gosh.
of torture.
They'd have to move. They would be the team to move to London.
Yep.
It would have to, and he wouldn't even be safe in London.
Yep. I feel for T Swift. Like I said, T Swift fans. If any of y'all are listening, I'm gonna give her more of a listen because she's earned it. In my opinion, she's awesome. Love her. And so the
patience on her.
Dude, she's a package. Hopefully, I hope everything works out. I hope that Kelsey is not an idiot. That is all I'm saying. Is I hope that
if he is, we'll get a good song out of it.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's about it.
But overall, then after that, you got to talk about the Packers and the Broncos. How do you, as the Packers, how do you lose to the Broncos, who, in my mind, I don't want to say that they are in kind of like panic mode a little bit, but they're in panic mode because
I don't think they are.
I think so because you traded. If you are Sean Payton, you have this reputation for being a game-changing coach, which he is. There is things that he does. He does. He just understands the game, the way he calls things, and the way that he runs it. Like I do think he is a game-changing coach. But you traded for a guy like Russell Wilson, who, don't get me wrong,
Sean Payton wasn't part of that.
True, I know that. But the GM right now
and let's be honest, that quarterback Russell Wilson is not Sean Payton's quarterback. It's not. He's not a good fit into Sean Payton's offense, and I think you're seeing that with the numbers Russell Wilson's putting up. They're not horrible numbers, but they're not great.
Yeah, and I think with the Packers, I mean Jordan Love, 21 of 31, 180 yards and 2 touchdowns at 1 pick. Clearly, you're going to run the football, but I mean Jaden Reed, the rookie, had a touchdown as well as Romeo Dubes, the second-year pro, who I've had a crush on since he came out. But like this, I mean, this is still a really good defense. Don't get me wrong. I still think it's a top 15 defense, maybe top 10, possibly top 5. But overall, like the Broncos here offensively, you just really couldn't get anything going. And I mean, Russell Wilson, 20 of 29, 194 yards and a touchdown. Javonte Williams, if you have him on fantasy, you were pretty happy. 15 carries, 82 yards. And Cortland Sutton, I benched him. Great. He had 6 catches, 76 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy, I mean, he's admirable. 5 catches, 64 yards. Defensively, though, I just feel like this team still needs a little bit more of that juice it had last year defensively. I don't know.
The Broncos?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not there yet.
They're not there the way they were last year. So, but no, I think right now with the way things are going for the Packers, I mean, this leapfrog, the Vikings win last night put them in second place in the North right now. Plus, the Vikings have a pretty favorable schedule. The Packers, I mean, I'm not going to come out here and say that their schedule is right in the tulips either. But I mean, they got to play the Rams in a couple of weeks. Next week, actually, it's the Vikings that they play, so that's going to be a big time game. Then you play the Rams. Then you have the Steelers, the Lions. That's going to be a tough game. Then the Chiefs, Giants, probably a win there. Bucks, probably a win. Panthers, probably a win. Then you got the Vikings and the Bears. So they've got a pretty, now that I'm looking at this schedule, I actually don't mind this schedule because you've got a couple of cupcake games in here. But overall, the Packers, I think with how things are going with Jordan Love right now, he has been, I think he's been better than expected.
Jordan Love? Yeah. I'm not going to knock Jordan Love at all.
I thought he's been better.
But I am going to apologize, and I feel bad for whoever drafted Christian Watson in early rounds.
Oh, dude. Like, I was so excited for what he was going to do, and now the guy
fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, there's glimpses where he's just so imposing, but now he's going to have a big game. I'm great. Now he's going to play the Vikings next. I'm going to knock on wood because he's...
No, I don't think he will, just because there's nobody around him that can take that can take that safety. And Aaron Jones isn't rushing like Aaron Jones should be rushing. He's not, he's not pass catching out of the backfield like he should. I think he had a couple. What do you have? 20 yards,
35 yards, and then he also had AJ Dillon was the man of the hour though. I mean, he had a total of 95 total yards. Aaron Jones, I mean, he caught a couple of passes, 22 yards, so 57 yards all purpose. Not great.
No, and that's not. And I mean, it's just that's age.
Yeah, and so I think honestly, this Packers offense is still something to be reckoned with. We'll see what happens with my Vikings next week. Hopefully,
I don't know about reckoned with.
I mean, I think you have to. I think any offense in the NFL you have to respect. Like, that's how it goes. Like, it doesn't matter. Anybody can go off at any time. I think we've seen that in a lot of different cases. Now, speaking of going off, the Eagles took it to the Dolphins. Like, in a way, 31-17 was the final score there. The Eagles are tough. The Eagles are so tough right now because Tua Tagovailoa, 23 of 32, 216 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Tyreek Hill had 11 catches, 88 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, I need you to go off, buddy. I need you to go off. I don't know. But I mean, the Eagles are tough. Your thoughts?
See, I think this is my comment about Jackson Mahomes earlier. This is why the Philadelphia Eagles are thanking Jackson Mahomes. How many penalties do they have this game?
Let's see here. I got to go to team stats off the top of my head. Penalties, nada. 0.
And how many did Miami have?
10. Yeah.
Thank you, Jackson Mahomes, for making Philadelphia the face of the NFL.
I did not see that coming. And honestly, like the time of possession, the Eagles ran away with this one. Like the Dolphins barely had the football.
Did you watch this game?
Yeah, the Eagles just dominated. I felt like they controlled the line of scrimmage. They did so many good things on both sides. I just felt like you had.
See, I felt like it was a closer game than that.
I just feel like the
you
Eagles
had a pass interference call that didn't get called. That was clearly a face mask. That changes the whole aspect of that. There's just a couple really iffy calls. Plays, like it should have probably been a 24-31. There should have probably been another touchdown under that.
Yeah, but I just feel like even if it would have gotten that close, like just from what you can do in the trenches, what the Eagles can do in the trenches, I think that they've got another run to the Super Bowl.
They could push their way to the Super Bowl.
I don't see another. I just don't see another team that can control the line of scrimmage like they can. Plus, Darius Slay had a pick. Josh Sweat doing his thing, couple of sacks. Nolan Smith, the former rookie, or the rookie, had a sack. Fletcher Cox getting in there as well. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter is just a menace.
Jalen Hurts did look human a little bit during this game, though.
He looked good, though. 3 touchdowns at the 21 of 31, 279. So, I mean, it was. I feel like the Eagles are just, in my eyes, they're the team to beat in the NFC right now. I know that. And speaking of teams to beat in the NFC right now, we got to talk about the Vikings and 49ers game. The 49ers have dropped two in a row against teams that they probably should have beat in the Browns and the Vikings.
Brock Purdy is human.
Brock Purdy is human. And I know that everybody wants to come out and say, oh, they didn't have Deebo Samuel. Vikings didn't have Justin Jefferson. Like excuses in the NFL, everybody, it is next man up mentality no matter what. We've seen it with the Chiefs. We've seen it with good teams. They still find a way to win games when it comes down to it. And I think that this is not.
That was not. I mean, it was a win. The Vikings got the win.
Yeah.
But let's call it as it was. It was a poorly played game on both sides.
I think in a lot of cases there was. Defensively for the Vikings, I think you played as good as a game as you probably have all season in some spurts because you had them. I feel like the Vikings in every way, they did their best with Christian McCaffrey. Like, I mean, he's a dude. There's not a lot you're going to do against that guy, but I felt like they put pressure on Brock Purdy when they needed to, and he made a couple of errors, and that's ultimately what led to their demise because, I mean, that's the thing though, is Brock Purdy I don't see him as a guy that is in the MVP conversation necessarily because no, but I think he's a step above a Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a step above what you want to be able to take care of things. But I don't see him as being a top 10 quarterback. I see him as him being a guy that he can get the job done. They can win a couple of games, but overall we saw it late in the game. Your team needs you to come through with a couple of throws. You have to score a touchdown on a defense that has no business holding you to 17 points. no business. I'm a Vikings fan. I'll say it. This defense played the game of their life last night, or at least really took a lot of things away. And yes, Christian McCaffrey was hurt. You didn't have Deebo Samuel, but at the end of the day, you are in a position where your team needs you to drive you in to score a touchdown, and you throw back-to-back interceptions in a 5-minute span there. And I mean, it was to the same player. Like I don't understand. Like both of them, I know got away from him. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake again. I think that the 49ers are going to learn from this. I think they're going to be a force. So what were your thoughts?
My thought is I think you found the ticket on that too. You take away McCaffrey, you're going to give up the big play.
Yeah.
But
if your offense can put up points,
I wouldn't even say that, because 22 points is not a lot of points in the NFL. But Kirk Cousins threw the ball 45 times.
He played a very good game.
Yeah, I mean, it was those short dumps where you got to just get away from Warner and kind of keep the ball out to the outside and just beat him outside, beat Warner outside, keep him inside a little bit, keep the running game going. Addison had a great game, and so did Matson. And it doesn't look like on the stat line, but I mean, when you got 8 carries, 39 yards, that's 4.9 yards a carry. Warner's got to stay in the box.
Well, the thing is you got to remember so Alexander Madison, his first carry from scrimmage was 19 yards. After that, 7 carries for 20 yards. So he was very effective in like the power running game. But for me, in my money, Cam Akers needs to get the ball a lot more, because he can do more as an explosive pass catching and running and running between the tackles type of running back. But I mean, Alexander Madison had himself a very good start. And then Kirk Cousins, I felt like he is a guy that, I know he gets a lot of hate, but this particular game, he made throw after throw on third down that kept the 49ers off the field, kept their offense on, taking up time, keeping Christian McCaffrey off. Because that was my main concern, is if they can keep McCaffrey off the field and let them run out the clock, and if they can maintain a lead, they most likely will win the game. But Kirk Cousins, he's not Superman by any means, but he played a very good game. Like you said, Addison looked good. TJ Hawkinson, I mean, finally didn't drop a pass. I was pretty happy. I was like, okay. I mean, the guy that we just paid, $17 million to. Yeah,
he didn't look healthy though.
He's not that guy that when you think of tight ends, athletic tight ends, when he catches the ball, he's usually done. Like, he's never going to make a big play and run away from everybody. Like, he'll catch a pass over the middle for like 15 yards and then he's getting tackled. He's just not like Kelsey. He's not like Andrews and all those guys that are athletic. He catches the pass over the middle and it's usually a first down. So,
and this game in Minnesota, I mean, it is tough to play in Minnesota.
It is.
In that dome.
It is. And I think that, Brandon Powell also stepped up in a couple of key third downs there late in the game. You had KJ Osborne, who probably should have caught that long ball, but it is what it is. You'll live with that. But this defense, I mean, Cam Bynum had a couple of sacks. You had Daniil Hunter, who continues his, you want to talk about the 3 defensive players right now that are getting it done. Daniil Hunter has 9 sacks on the year. I think he's leading the NFL right now. You've got Myles Garrett that are doing really well. So, I mean, Daniil Hunter continues to bring it.
You're really putting Daniil Hunter in the same conversation as Myles Garrett.
He has more sacks, and he was the fastest player to 50 sacks in NFL history. If he hadn't, he had a couple of injuries that, did kind of slow him down a little bit. But, I mean, money for money, this guy's still in his prime. He's probably going to have double-digit sacks again. And, I am putting him in the same conversation. I don't think it's that far-fetched.
Yeah. Okay. everybody needs an opinion.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And there was another couple of things here too. So the defense, I think, played as well as it's going to play. And when you're playing Christian McCaffrey, he's going to bust one. It is what it is. I think 16, 17 games now straight with 16. A touchdown, 16 games straight with a touchdown. Like, he's the guy. He's a very good player. But overall, with the 49ers, what are your thoughts on kind of where do they go from here? Because it seems like, I don't want to say the NFL's figured them out, but you look at it and think something's going on. So, just tell me, what are your thoughts on the 49ers?
I still think they're a good team, but I don't think Brock Purdy's going to be the answer. I think Christian McCaffrey he's not going to be able to put these guys on their back through the playoffs and into a Super Bowl. I think it's your typical San Francisco 49ers, very good team. And if they happen to make the Super Bowl, they're probably going to lose to the AFC.
Okay. I think that's pretty fair because,
But you're not going to get by the Eagles.
No, they're so tough. Like the Eagles, like the way they control the line of scrimmage, the way that they've got their playmakers, Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. It's absolutely tough right now because I feel like in the NFC right now, it's the Eagles are the pedestal. You have to find a way to beat them. And like like early in the season, I know that they looked like they could get got, but I mean that most of their defense left. People forget that. Like they lost Hargrave to the 49ers. They lost some secondary guys like Marcus Epps to the Raiders. So they were kind of learning as a team on the fly, but now that they're coming into their own, man, I really think that the Eagles are going to be, they're going to be the NFC representatives. And hey, if it's the Eagles and the Ravens, I think you probably won yourself a little bit of money if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so we'll go ahead real quick. We've recapped all the NFL season and all that. Let us know what you guys think about the games and what you guys thought about, your favorite team in the comment section. Make sure you guys also remember to subscribe and all that. But we'll also, and leave us a like, please. That's what helps people find the show. If you would also, we'll go into our power rankings now. And kind of talk about kind of how things moved, because last week we did our very first one of the season. I know it's a little backwards, but overall it's this is our second week of doing it. So, Ben, you want to start us off? Who do you have at 32?
Panthers.
The Panthers. I mean, even after a bye week, like they didn't even play.
This is the only time I'm not going to. Let's be honest. They didn't lose.
True. That's not wrong. I actually have the Cardinals at 32 because I know that they lost a game and they look good in certain spots, but I mean, that's their goal, is to lose. I'm sorry. Like that's just this organization looks like they are not trying. They're trying, but they are. I mean, Kyler Murray, who knows what's going to happen with him at this point. I just feel like still it's the Cardinals at number 32. And then you've got at 31, I've got the Panthers. Again, I try to, when teams are on a bye, I try to, when I do power rankings, I try not to have them move too much because, I mean, not really in their control. If they're on their bye week, it is what it is. So I had the Panthers going down 2 spots, though. I just feel like, I know they're searching for their first win. Hopefully this bye week helps Bryce Young and company get things together, and we'll go from there. Who did you have at 31?
Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think it's going to matter when Kyler Murray comes back. That they want Caleb Williams.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of what they're shooting for.
30, I've got the Chicago Bears up 2 spots because I felt like, I know they beat the Raiders, but you beat the Raiders. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I mean, the Raiders, that hurts my pride, definitely, but their defenses looked really good over the last couple of weeks. Tyson Bagent might be that guy. I think this could be, if they continue to string together wins here, the Bears might find themselves being a middle of the pack, maybe even a top 10 team. We'll see what happens as the season goes on. Who did you have at 30?
The Packers.
The Packers. Oh, yeah.
They dropped. It wasn't a good game. They didn't look good. There was no good aspects of the whole game. Like, I can't point to anything and go, that was positive.
Yeah.
So I put the Packers.
Who would you have at 29?
The Broncos.
Okay. Because I think that, again, the Broncos, I know they got a win, but again, it was against the Packers. I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged whammy there. So 29, I had the Packers. I felt like they are a team right now that they're down 4 spots from last week. It's just, Jordan Love is definitely a bright spot. There's a good defense. I don't know. Maybe they could go in a late season run, perhaps. I don't know. But 28.
I'm going to go Giants.
Yep. Yeah, even though they got a win, it's against your division rival. And I know that, yes, they are.
I don't think it felt like a win, though.
No production offensively. It's just like, it's not really even. Yeah. But hey, tag God, you got to love him.
Mm-hmm.
28, I had the Raiders down 9 spots. How do you lose to the worst team in football? And Aiden O'Connell should have started from day one. I felt like, he had a rocky game against the Chargers, but he also had him in a position to win the game. I know that also Brian Hoyer won the game last week for you against a team that, probably should have won against, but it doesn't matter. I still feel like the Raiders, Josh McDaniels needs to go. You need to roll with Aiden O'Connell for the rest of the year. Just see what you have in him. If he's not good, fine. You spent, a 4th round, 5th round pick on him? Fine, whatever. He's a backup, fine. And then after that, I think you kind of just go from there. But you lose to the worst team in football. Your running game looks abysmal. Your defense, after having a pretty good game against a couple of good teams, you let up 30 points to a rookie quarterback that came from Division II. Not a good look. So 27, who'd you have?
Who do I have at 27 or 28?
Sorry, 28.
Oh, I had the Titans at 28.
Titans, gotcha. Okay. They just traded Kevin Byard to the Eagles. That's just.
I think Henry's next.
You think Henry's? They're definitely. Yeah, it's a fire sale.
That's why I got them dropping.
It's a fire sale. And the Titans. I mean, the Ryan Tannehill experiment never really worked out. Malik Willis, I know they got they got a couple other things brewing there, but I mean, Will Levis, will he get an opportunity? I don't know. We'll have to see what kind of comes from there. 27, I had the Broncos up 3 spots. Again, yeah, you picked up a win, but it was against the Packers, so not a whole lot to be excited about there. Who'd you have at 27?
Saints.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that just game that.
Yeah.
I don't know,
but it's not Derek's Carr's fault.
No, I think he's.
If you ask him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like he accepts no responsibility.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on, dude. I thought he was going to do better with the Saints, but that's not been the case. 26, who'd you have?
The Bears.
I
think the Bears looked really good. I think the defense is there. So let's kind of see how it goes. Yep. I think they're definitely on the rise.
Yep.
So I like what I've been seeing. So I think if anything, they're just going to continue to go up.
Agreed. I think I'm really interested to see what happens with Tyson. I said, geez, I sound like what's his face? Never mind. Anyway, Tyson Bagent. I think I'm excited to see what he develops into because I don't think he's a world beater, but if he wins games, that's all that matters in the NFL. So we've seen quarterbacks get paid from that. And so 26, I had the Titans. I think that's going to be something I've got to keep an eye on there. But who'd you have at 26 again?
26, I had the Bears.
Bears, that's right. Thank you. And then 25, who'd you have?
The Commanders.
Yeah, again, you lost to a division rival, but it really, it almost didn't feel like a loss, but it did, if that makes sense. I don't know what to expect out of Sam Howell right now.
It's a hit or miss. I think he reminds me a lot of Minshew.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a great backup quarterback somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the guy.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. 25, I had the Patriots up 3 spots. I feel like this was a bigger win than a lot of people think, and this is the kind of win that gets your team rolling. This kind of win gets your team believing in the system again, gets your team and Bill Belichick back in a spot where, okay, hey, what we have works. We just beat a division rival. We beat a tough team in the Bills, and this is the kind of win that probably should have put them up more than 3 spots right now, but there was just some other teams that took some losses and other teams that shocked some people this week that I'm just like, okay. All right, so yeah, the Patriots up 3 spots at 25. I think that they could be coming. But your thoughts? 25?
25. I have the Chargers.
Wow, yep. What a drop! They lost to the Chiefs.
They looked horrible, and I'm gonna reiterate what I said before. Herbert is not that good.
You're not taking it from this man. You're just
no. I understand. I just don't understand it. Mm-hmm. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't. Give me something to hold on to, and then maybe I'll give you some credit. But right now, he hasn't done anything.
Yep.
His mechanics look great. Cool. He can throw the ball far. Cool.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Again, I'm
win
not,
games.
Yeah. I'm not
go
in
to
the
the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm literally crickets this week because I was a little shocked there. So 25, you got the Chargers. Who do you got at 24?
24, I had the Chargers.
24, you had the dang. I had the Colts. I'm sorry. So I have the Colts dropping down 2 spots. I know that they did almost beat the Browns, but it was a Deshaun Watson-less Browns. And Gardner Minshew looks good, but Anthony Richardson, I believe they lost him for the season, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
I said that's rough. I mean, your number one guy you just picked up. He shows flashes of really being able to put you in a good spot, and but he gets injured right away. It's just tough spot for the Colts there. 23, I had the Giants. I know that they are.
That's a lot of credit.
Yeah, I give them up 4 spots because I feel like yes, it was a division rival, but Tyrod Taylor, if he stays in, if they run the ball with Saquon, their defense takes things and does their thing. They made the playoffs last year. They made the wild card. I know people are like, oh, it's only the wild card, but it's still the playoffs. It's the playoffs. So I'm going to give them a little bit more credit for this win because it did come against a division rival. It did come at a time where they needed it. So 2 and 5, yeah, they're up a couple spots. Your ranking for number 23,
the Patriots.
Okay, hey,
they moved up. If Mac Jones continues to play like this and just doesn't turn the ball over, controls the game, and is actually like a field general, I think he's going to do really well. Mm-hmm. I still think they need that big wideout, that one wideout, and they might be. I don't want to say they're contenders, but they're definitely probably top 15, top 10
Oh yeah, easily. I think they're a top 15 team. I think it's just a couple of rough weeks to let your team recalibrate and kind of go from there. I definitely think is something to keep an eye on. And so 22, I had the Commanders. I know that the Giants beat the Commanders. I just feel like the Commanders have one of the best defensive lines in football right now. And if they can get the whole situation with Brian Robinson Jr. figured out, if Sam Howell is on his game, if they can spread this ball out, like they actually have a really good team. It's just a matter of, how good can they possibly be? So, I mean, I could see some people in the comment section, hey, maybe you switch around the Giants and the Commanders. But overall, I think it's pretty close, as we saw on Sunday. So your thoughts on 22?
I have the Bears.
Bears. Ooh, man, they jumped up quite a bit for you, didn't they?
Yeah, I really like this Badgett kid.
Yeah.
And I think the defense is coming along. I think they're all right. So
yeah, I think this is exciting time for the Bears. Like, I think it's finally could be something good. Okay, so then at 21, I had the Saints. They moved down a spot here. I probably should have had them move down quite a bit more, but I just feel like they brought in Derek Carr. They're going to see what happens with this offense. Their defense is pretty good. Like their defense is actually pretty good, but it had a rough game. I understand that against the Jaguars, but I put them down a spot. I guess we'll kind of just see how they kind of stack up the rest of the year. Who'd you have at 21?
the Raiders.
Okay.
If they fire Josh McDaniels, I'll bump them up to 15.
Okay. Amen, brother.
Yes.
Amen. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts really bad. And so at 20, the Steelers I had at 20, they're up 3 spots. I mean, yeah, you beat the Rams, but it's also the Rams. Maybe they can make some noise later on here because Kenny Pickett's winning games. They're 4-2. I understand it. I just have some of my questions about, how far can he take them is my ultimate question, because you've got to play the Ravens again. You've got a tough division, the rest of this AFC. I mean, the Bengals, I consider them probably 3 out of 4 in the North, in the AFC North right now. So 20 for me is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you got?
I got the Rams.
The Rams. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams are at 20. And then I just think they really need to, with the offensive weapons that they have, they should be winning some of these games.
Yeah.
And when they start doing that, then you'll probably start seeing them rise up a little bit.
Yep. 19, who'd you have?
I have the Colts.
The Colts. Yeah, they got, Gardner Minshew, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. He's a guy that you kind of love. Like he's fun to lean into and follow because he kind of has that personality that I feel like a lot of people really like, And so at 19, I had the Bucs down 6 spots. I feel like this team just it's nothing special. It's got a good defense. You got Vita Vea. You got those guys in the middle that can take care of business. It's got a good defense. I love Antoine Winfield Jr. as well, but I feel like the Bucs with Baker Mayfield, it's just not going to go how you think it's going to go. Like he's not the guy that'll bring you to the playoffs, but I think they'll be a 500 team or pretty close to it. And so, who do you have at 19?
I have the Jets.
The Jets.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye week. Yeah. I'm the kind of guy that I usually keep the same team in the same spot. And I just feel like we'll see what happens with Zach Wilson though. Don't do my mistake and pick him up on fantasy because it doesn't work out. Trust me, it does not work out. Then I got the Vikings at 18. I got them moving up 2 spots here. I feel like this is like just like the Patriots just had. This is a kind of win that you can maybe regroup here. You can kind of say, okay, we're 3-4. We're still in a position where we could maybe get back in the North here. The Lions just got shellacked by the Ravens. And so, you're in a position, maybe if things continue to go your way, you get Justin Jefferson back in a couple of weeks. Your schedule looks pretty good through these next, 6-8 games. Things are looking up. And so I think, because, at the end of the season, you got to play the Lions twice. But overall, I think this is favorable for the Vikings, but I've got them at 18. Yeah. So who do you have at 18?
I have the Minnesota Vikings.
Really? All right,
Yes.
we agree on something. Cool.
Yep.
I feel like, I wasn't trying to get too carried away with it because I was just like, it was just kind of a game where the 49ers, they're a good team, but let's take a break off of the purple Kool-Aid and just say, hey, we'll just give them a couple of spots. At 17, who'd you have?
Bengals.
Yeah, man.
I think this next week will be huge.
Yeah. Wait, who do they got next week? I got to remember.
Really?
Wait, maybe hold on. Bengals. Give a brother a break. Jeez. Is it? Oh, you guys play the Patriots? No, 49ers. Sorry.
Yes.
Ugh, oh boy. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's going to be a big week, big time week. I had the Falcons, so they're up 5 spots for me. Yes, they are in first place of the AFC South or the NFC South. Who wants to win the South is my ultimate question, because we're seeing the same thing as last year where we have 4 teams all playing for last place. I'm just kind of like, I don't know who wants to win this thing. Yes, they're using Kyle Pitts better. They're getting a lot of their weapons more involved. But I mean, Carson Ritter, excuse me. I just don't see them being the guy as far as bringing you to a playoff win. But we'll see what happens there. Desmond Ritter, that is. Excuse me, I said Carson Ritter, I meant Desmond Ritter. But I mean, we'll see what happens with the Falcons. I got them up 5 spots. And then did we talk for you at 17?
Yeah, I took the Bengals.
Bengals, that's right. It was 16. Who do you got?
The Bucks.
16 bucks. Okay. Yeah. Again, I felt like they fell back a little bit after that game like that. I feel like the Rams, I took the Rams at 16 because they're a team that I still think there's something there, because you still have a lot of the nucleus, like Aaron Donald. This defense still has some dudes. And I mean, offensively, if you can put something together, something could happen. 15.
Texans.
Oh, same here. Yeah, I have the Texans standing at 15. Bye week, I think that there's some things with this offense that could be special. 14.
Falcons.
Yeah. All right. I had the Bengals at 14 because again, 13.
Steelers.
Steelers. Yeah, I think they're a team that are, Kenny Pickett. We'll see if he can get him into the top 10. I had the Chargers down to 1 spot. I still feel like, yes, you lost to the Chiefs and you're technically in 3rd place right now in the AFC West, but the Raiders. Like, I know they have 3 wins technically, but they have not beaten anybody that I would consider actually really good. 12.
The Bills.
Yep, I've got the Bills down 6 spots because I mean, what's going on with Josh Allen and in Buffalo right now? I don't really understand it. 11, I had the Jets. Who do you got?
The Falcons.
Falcons. Okay, yeah, they deserve a little bit of an up at this week. 1st place. At 10,
the Browns.
Yeah, I
never thought I'd say that.
I know. I feel like, I mean, without Deshaun Watson, that's with me. That's the bigger shock.
I think that's better. They're better without Deshaun Watson.
They get it done. Like, I'm like PJ Walker. He finds a way to win the game, and so hey, they got it done. For me at 10, I got the Dolphins. With Tua, I know they played a tough team in the Eagles, but overall, I just feel like they. When you play good teams and you beat good teams, you get rewarded. And when you lose to good teams, you don't get rewarded. So that's just what I had. 9.
You're gonna laugh at me for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with the Lions, and here's my thought on it.
It's a steep drop.
Yes, here's my thought on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Lions have a bunch of winnable games coming up?
Yeah,
and it's going to show a lot about the Lions. Are they going to take that off? And when they actually have to go into the playoffs and play, because I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go into the playoffs, are they going to be the Lions that we saw the first couple games,
mm-hmm.
or are they going to win these games and almost get lazy and not be prepared for the playoffs? I think this is a big moment for the coach and the team. So I'm putting them there just because I know that they should win these games, and I want to see what happens afterwards.
Yeah, I think from literally, what did you have? 1 last week to
I had them at 1,
and now they go down to 9 or 10.
They go to 9.
Go to 9. I agree with the drop because you got humbled against the Ravens, and now, like you said, they've got a stretch here. It's like, just see what happens.
The whole team should get a tortilla to the face.
Yeah, dude, I love that sound.
Yeah.
9, I've got the Cowboys. Not really much of a change from last week. Again, down the bye week, we'll see how things kind of go for them. 8,
Seahawks.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent. 8, I've got the Browns. They're up a couple spots here. Actually, I had them up 4 spots. So hey, I like the win overall, and without Deshaun Watson, I thought it's pretty impressive. 7,
Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how they again this. I know some of my Cowboys buddies that are listening to this might laugh at me, but I had I put the Jaguars here because I feel like if you put Trevor Lawrence and a guy like Dak next to each other, I still go with Lawrence. I think that his upside is, you just can't deny it right now. And I think that Dak, I don't know, too many. He's had enough time to win games and get to the playoffs, and at least win games in the playoffs, and he hasn't done enough. So, and I mean, yeah, Lawrence has already done that. 6.
I have the Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins, yeah, they're still a good team. I probably was a little harsh in putting them down at 10, but they're still a playoff team. They're still a really good team. 6, I've got the Seahawks up a spot. I mean, yeah, you beat the Cardinals, great. 5,
49ers.
Same here, man. I was like, it's not panic time, but it's like you lost to 2 teams you should have beat, definitely. So I got 49ers. Number 4.
The Chiefs.
Man, they just okay. All right. So why the Chiefs?
Because I think I really do think if you take away Kelsey, Mahomes might be in trouble.
Okay.
And I think the defensive coordinators are going to start seeing that, and it's going to be hard to take away someone like that. But I think there's a couple of teams out there that definitely can, and when they do, I guess we'll find out.
Yep. So at 4, I had the Lions down a couple of spots. Yes, you got humbled, but again, there is still enough in this team that they're going to win the North. I hate to say it, but I just feel like that's just how it's going to go. But they're still a really good team. 3,
Jags.
Okay, yeah, they got a good win over the Saints there. I got the Ravens. I think the Ravens are now in a spot where it's like I wasn't drinking the purple Kool-Aid like you were talking about last week, but now I look at it and I'm like, you humbled a good team. And you did it in a way that it wasn't like, just Lamar Jackson to me answered a lot of questions going against a defense that was rolling, and you spread the ball out. Mark Andrews looked really good. You spread it out to your weapons. He can throw it. He can run it. This defense stepped up, held them to 6 points. I'm like, yeah, this is fantastic week for the Baltimore Ravens at 2. Who do you got? Sorry.
I have the Ravens at 2.
Ravens at 2? Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That is an AFC team that I think could potentially beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think
agree. That's who you're going to see. I really do. Who you're going to see out of the AFC.
Yeah. 2, I had the Eagles. I just feel like I know like the trenches wise, they're still that team, but they just whooped up. I shouldn't say whooped. They beat the Dolphins in a game that I'm like, okay, this is a little bit of bragging rights here. You go up against a good team, you get rewarded for it. 2, I've got the Eagles. Who do you got at number 1? I feel like
I got the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles.
Yeah, especially when you get the zebras on your side. you're shooting up to number 1.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, them and the Chiefs. I just feel like those 2. It's just
I just don't. How can you play an entire football game and not have one penalty?
Yeah,
it's almost impossible.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying like there was stuff that was missed.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be addressed by the NFL, and hopefully it just gets swept under the rug. And hopefully the Eagles aren't just punished next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's a lot of things going on here, especially looking at that game. I've never seen a team not get a penalty, at least 1 or 2. Something small. The Chiefs, I got it number 1.
Oh boy,
I just feel like I know Travis Kelce if he gets taken away, but to me, if you look back,
Jackson Mahomes can go dance.
God no. God no, pepper spray him.
Go do the gritty.
No, I will kick him in the side of the knee. It won't be great. I just feel like the Chiefs are in a spot now where, yes, Travis Kelce's on. When he's on, the team is on. But I have said it from the beginning, Rashee Rice is a receiver I'm keeping an eye on because coming out, he was a guy that, like, he's a big-bodied guy, gets outside the numbers, and I feel like with all the weapons, you just brought back McCole Hardman. I feel like he was a diet version of Tyreek Hill. Like, he was very quick, very good in and out of his breaks. He had good hands. I felt like he was a guy that was going to take over more, so they got him back from the Jets. They just traded for him. So I think, honestly, the Chiefs are, like, until I see otherwise, the Chiefs are the team to beat. And so, yeah.
I mean, next week they're playing the Broncos, but they always play the Broncos. Always play them tough. Yeah,
so tough.
So I think these next couple of weeks, you got the Broncos, you got the Dolphins, and then you got the Eagles.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable picking some games here next week? Just kind of going on.
Yeah, I think I could probably do that.
Okay.
I was horrible this week, so
yeah, just don't put any jelly beans down on these ones. So okay, Bucks Bills Thursday night.
Bills.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
What's the spread on that?
Spread on Bucks Bills game. Come on. It looks like it's. Oh shoot! Come on. Spread. Looks like it's a 8.5 for the Bills. Ooh. Negative 8.5 for the Bills. Yeah. So
I would take the Bills as winning, but they're not going to cover.
Yeah, that's a lot. 8.5 points is a lot.
The Bucks are not that bad.
They're not that bad. I mean, they were what, 3-1 at one point, and then now, yeah. Jets. For me, yeah, I think that the Bills are going to beat the Bucks. I think they bounce back.
Over under is only 42. Take the over on that all day.
Yeah. Yep. I think that is definitely the Bills. I just get back on track, please. My fantasy team thanks you. Jets and Giants. This is too awful.
Why is there always that one game that you're just like,
I don't care.
you shouldn't even be on this week?
We should play like Alabama or somebody should be playing over you. Like,
yeah, go over to London and be the 7 a.m. game that everybody's going to sleep through. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm going to go with the Jets just because the Giants have looked so bad.
Yeah.
The Jets have shown glimmers of good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope the Jets can get through that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Giants here because Tyrod has them playing in a way that I feel like that's the way they want to play offense. They're going to throw the ball, stretch it out with Hyatt. They're going to run it with Saquon a little bit. And then also Tyrod, he's kind of a dual threat kind of a guy. So, I mean, I think that the Jets offense, I mean, Zach Wilson, is he really the guy that we're betting on? Like, I don't know.
I'm not going to bet against him against the Giants. I can tell you that. So we're betting on him or Tyrod.
Exactly. This is not good in any way. Like, how did the NFL come to this? Jaguars and the Steelers.
Ooh, go back to that one. That's the over under on that is what I'm seeing is 36.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Jets.
That's pretty low. It's the Jets are -3.
Yep.
So
I just in the 35.5 points is the over under. So yeah, I would go with. I still think the.
Well, yeah, if you got the Giants are going to I mean, that'll cover.
Yeah.
Or the Jets. Yeah, but I think the Jets are going to beat the Giants by more than 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it's going to be the over.
Yeah. Jaguars Steelers.
This is going to be a big game for Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel this way.
Yep.
But I am going to take the Jags.
This is also a big game for the Steelers because you can hear the Steelers fans. Kenny Pickett 4-2. You know, the AFC North is looking like it's getting pretty interesting because you have the Ravens at 5-2. You got the Steelers at 4-2 and the Browns at 4-2, and then you've got the Bengals at 3-2. Very tough division, number one. But I mean, yeah, I still stay the Jags because I feel like they are. I've said it from the beginning. Their best is yet to come. Travis Etienne is the focal point. We know that, but I think they're going to take this one. What do you think as far as score wise?
I think they're gonna. I think Jacksonville's gonna take it, but it worries me just because of T.J. Watt.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to run away from T.J. Watt.
Yeah, he's just a menace. Dude is.
Yeah. And it really depends on how Trevor Lawrence heals too. I know the hamstring or whatever's going on with his leg.
If he can't escape, that's not good.
Yeah, but he did well last game, so I'm not gonna bet against him.
Nope. Eagles Commanders.
I'm gonna go, and this is the best. The spread is 6.5.
What?
The Eagles have to beat the Commanders by a touchdown.
No, there's no way.
Rush to your local betting thing. Grab your phone, whatever you need to do, because Philadelphia will beat them by more than 6.5 points.
Exactly. Yeah, the Commanders. I'm sorry, you are reeling from a loss too. Now you play another NFC East opponent. It's just. Oh boy! Now the Eagles, put your money line on that. I'm pretty confident in that one. I would say Eagles as well. Rams Cowboys.
That one's gonna be tough. I think I'm gonna take the Rams.
Okay. I go Cowboys because I know they had the bye week, but they've got 2 weeks to prepare, and that bye week there's not enough emphasis I can put on because for 2 weeks. You literally, if you are
this can't be right. I'm looking at this and it says Rams are -6.5.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
6.5 over the Cowboys? Okay. My thing is,
did Micah Parsons?
Did he just like get hurt?
Yeah.
No. I feel like the Cowboys take this one because again, you have had 2 weeks to prepare for an opponent. You watch all of the tape this team has put on, and you feel pretty confident about that. Now maybe they save some stuff, I don't know, but I think the Cowboys take it to the Rams.
See, I just think the Rams have too much firepower. I don't think, and Dak isn't going to be that guy.
Yep.
So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Vikings Packers.
Oh, you're gonna hate me. I'm gonna say the Packers.
Yeah, me too. I don't hate you because I know that the Vikings beat the 49ers.
It's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay. Yeah. Lambeau's tough to play in. I think
they split. That whole division splits.
Yeah, I agree. They win in their home. So yeah, I unfortunately say the Packers over the Vikings there. Falcons Titans.
I'm gonna say the Falcons. I like what Ritter did.
Yeah. Falcons again, because Titans. I mean, they're sellers. Like you said, Derrick Henry's probably the next to go. They just got rid of Beard or whatever. So, I go Falcons as well. Patriots, Dolphins.
Patriots.
Ooh. Hey, Homer, love it.
No, here's my thought on the Patriots Dolphins game. So it's at Miami.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9.5 points.
Wait, for the Dolphins?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. But Tom Brady couldn't play in Miami. He was horrible in Miami. Mac Jones can play in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones, I think if I was a betting person and I was getting 9.5 points,
You are a betting person.
I would take New England, just because I think it's going to be a good game. Because Bill Belichick can shut down those weapons.
Mm-hmm. You've got
I
the
think
defense to do it.
Yeah, the running backs are going to have huge games,
Mm-hmm.
but the wide receivers will not.
Yeah, so I've got Raheem Mostert and all those guys for my fantasy team there. So for this one, I'm gonna go Dolphins. I just feel like these.
And we're just talking about outright, right? We're not talking about money line. Yeah,
No.
I'm still going to take the Patriots, but
Okay, I take the Dolphins because I feel like when you have lost, I think they're going to split for most of the rest of the season because they've got enough to make the playoffs. Are pretty close. I know this is a tough division, but they won a couple of games at the start of it. I just feel like the weapons that they have, Jalen Waddle he's been good, but he hasn't gone off like he has in the past. And so when you have those two weapons in the same team, in the same division, like you have to face time and time again, sooner or later the guy's going to go off. I've got a good feeling about the Dolphins this week. Say it's Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
Again,
I am. I'm going with the Colts. I just think that the Saints are a good team. They're just not meshing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's Derek Carr's fault, because as a teammate, what we saw in Las Vegas, he was a great teammate.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that with New Orleans.
Yeah. I just feel, and
who knows with the Salave thing, if he's even going to get to play.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take the Colts.
Yeah, same here. The Saints, the experiment failed. I'm sorry. We all kind of knew, but we also were waiting for it to tell you because we wanted to be nice. But yeah, the experiment failed with Derek Carr. Panthers and Texans. Dude, the Texans, they've been shocking some people. They've been getting it done a little bit.
So the
to win this team. Like,
I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Yeah, me too. I feel a little bit pulled here because yes, the Panthers haven't won a game yet. We're gonna win a game first. I think they're gonna go in a little late season run here. Yeah. They might win 6 or 7 games.
Bryce Young will get them there.
Yeah, I think he'll get him to that 500, pretty close to it. No. I think that you don't think 500?
Maybe 3 or 4 games.
3 or 4 games?
Not 500.
I think they're going to go on a little bit. I just have a feeling. I could be wrong because Adam Thielen, I know this defense, well, actually the defense is pretty good. This offensive line is atrocious, just awful. But I think he'll get a couple of games for him. But this one, the Texans have had 2 weeks to prepare. Both these teams have prepared. I'll go Texans here too. Browns, Seahawks. It was a good game.
I'm going to go the Browns.
Okay. I go Seahawks because I feel like you're coming off a win over the Cardinals and the writing is on the wall. You have to start winning some of these tough games because the Browns, this is a tough game and your defense has stepped up mightily for the Seahawks. Can you run the football? Can Geno Smith do enough to get the win here?
I guess my thought is you got Ford out, you got Chubb out. So you Hunt is capable.
Yep.
But is he
strong?
Is he going to be able to do it? I think he will. That's why I'm going to take the Browns.
I think Pierre Strong could be kind of a dark horse.
I do too. I really do.
A lot. I'm excited to see.
He looked. He was fun to watch in New England.
Yeah.
Like in preseason and stuff. He was fun to watch. So I think he'll do well.
Me too. I'll take the Seahawks. You take the Browns. Bengals, 49ers.
I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Really? You think that the Niners dropped 3 in a row?
Yes, I do. I think they do. I am. It's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to play big in big games, and he's going to be in California. It's going to be nice weather. Mm-hmm. I think, I do. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals beat the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay. I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think To me, it depends on if Debo's back because this Bengals secondary, I'm still a little like it's a good defense. I'm just kind of wondering what's going to happen there. I think the Niners get off the mat here. They dropped a couple. They regroup. Shanahan gives things back in order here. 49ers pick up a slim win over the Bengals. Chiefs Broncos.
Chiefs.
What's the money line on it?
-8.
-8. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you take that pretty comfortably. Even though, yeah, the Broncos always play the Chiefs pretty tough. So
they do, and I think Russell Wilson has a way. Like, I'm not a huge Russell Wilson fan, but he does have a way of winning these games.
Yeah,
the ones that
that are kind of like shocking, and plus you also kind of need them a little bit. Yeah. So I'll go Chiefs too. Not even really that hard. Ravens Cardinals.
Ravens by 100.
Yes.
Man.
I mean, they're gonna the Cardinals. I swear.
If you have any Ravens player, put them in.
Yeah,
because I think even the defensive players put them in because they're going to be scoring touchdowns in this game. It's going to be unheard of. The over under right now is 44. I think the Baltimore Ravens score 44 by themselves.
Yes.
With not much help from the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are going to put up anything.
I really don't think so either. And I think I should probably start Gus Edwards this week. So I think that's what I'll do. Yeah.
Don't start Gus Edwards because I want him to have a good game. You start him, he's not going to have nothing.
What do you mean he had a good? Oh, that's true. Yeah, because I just didn't start and he had like 20 points. So I don't know.
This is what happens when you auto draft.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's still a tender subject. So yeah, Ravens Cardinals. I go Ravens. Bears Chargers.
I'm going Bears.
Okay. Yeah, they're rolling right now a little bit.
I have to stand by. Like, I deep down I think the Chargers are going to win this game, but with my Herbert thing going on, I am staying with the Bears.
I get it. Well, and I think this is kind of a big game. It's Sunday Night Football, national television, a little bit, kind of a fun of a bigger audience.
And you ask any Patriot fan last year what happens on Sunday Night Football with the Chicago Bears. Because they got smacked.
Yeah.
The Patriots absolutely got smacked by the Bears.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Yes.
I think it's so yeah, Bears and Chargers. I'm gonna go Chargers because I feel like
it's a safe pick.
It's the safe pick, and and then finally Raiders Lions. Oh, this is gonna be a bloodbath.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I was gonna say what
100%.
Really?
Yes.
Over the Lions who I think the Lions are going to go out for blood. I think they're going to be very upset about how they just got manhandled against the Ravens, and I think they go out for blood. I think Raiders.
And that's why I think the Raiders are going to beat them. Because Jared Goff is not the type of quarterback to go out for blood.
Okay.
He has to be structured. He has to have a plan. He has to go in it. He has to play emotionless football to be successful, and I think that's what finally caught up to him. They were getting hyped. They were getting the publicity. Everything was going well. And golf plays his best when golf is under the radar and no one's really talking about him.
Yep.
And now we're going into it. They're talking about this game. Are they going to turn it around? Are they going to do that? I think you're going to see a horrible game by Jared Goff in this game. And and Jacoby Myers will have a big game.
I hope he does because my Raiders.
And by big game, 75 yards, touchdown. Devontae Adams probably. I'm gonna say 125.
Wow. Okay.
And you might actually see not an emergence of Josh Jacobs, but definitely a better play by Jacobs.
Okay. I think the Lions are going to win this one, but I would love if what you just said happens because you need to start Aiden O'Connell. I'm sorry, Brian Hoyer. We know what he is. He's a solid backup, not much more than that.
I think that's what you're going to end up. That's what you're going to end up seeing.
Yeah. I think you start with Aiden O'Connell because he there's a couple throws last week that you're like, okay, like they got a little something here. Not necessarily saying that he's that guy, but I mean, it was better than Hoyer, which isn't hard. And so I think they start Aiden O'Connell. They completely scrap the Jimmy G situation, and maybe Josh McDaniels buys himself a little bit more time before the can comes down the road. But
or do you go out and get somebody? Do you go out and get not Tannehill, but can you go out and get somebody right now?
I think that the Raiders are in a spot.
Do you go get Derek Carr back?
Oh, geez. With the way things ended,
no,
I don't think so because Derek Carr was the face of that franchise for almost a decade or whatever it was, and he was loved by fans, and they were playoffs a couple of years ago, almost beat the Bengals before when they were going to the Super Bowl. Well, in one ticky-tack call, but overall, this team is.
I could see him going getting Bailey Zappi.
I mean, he wouldn't be awful. Like we've seen some good things from Bailey Zappi, but I think you have to stick with Aiden O'Connell because yes, in his first rookie game, he was a rookie, number one, but he ran for a touchdown, and against a Chargers team that you don't know what you're getting, he had him in a position to win the game at the end of it. And yeah, he got I think he threw an interception that lost him the game, but overall he got sacked 6 times that game. 6 times. So he had no help from I think it was just by no, he got sacked 7 times, I believe, and it was 6 of them were with Khalil Mack. So it's like, oh, geez. So I think Aiden O'Connell deserves more of a shot with a full week of prep, not just throwing him in when you're down 30-6, and just see what he can do. If he sucks, okay, fine. You can go back with Jimmy G, or you can go get Bailey Zappi. I don't care, but
see, I take that back because Zappi already fell through waivers, and they didn't even blink at him.
Yeah.
So
it's like, yeah, I don't know. Or you can get whoever you want. Tannehill doesn't matter to me, but this is a tear down rebuild for the Raiders, if you ask me. So, but yeah, that is our latest edition of the full NFL recap for Week 7 of the NFL season, and then also kind of a preview for Week 8 and our power rankings. Ben, it was a fun one.
Yeah,
went too quick. Went way too quick.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be back next week as part of the Sports Brief podcast. Thanks again, Ben, for stopping by. Excited to get you on again next week. And yeah, we will see you guys then.